So let's get into some player ratings for that absolute embarrassment up at the Molineux last night. The away fans travelled 4.5 hours due to roadworks and traffic, etc., to get to the ground, only to witness us be 3-0 down, yes, 3-0 down to Wolverhampton Wanderers at half-time of the game. At that point, we hadn't had a single shot on target. We'd had 70-odd% possession. We'd had about 3 times as many passes as them, but we found ourselves 3-0 down. Now, I said in my review after the game my thoughts on it and why we were 3-0 down. For anyone who hasn't watched that, feel free to go back and watch that. That was the last video on the channel before this one. But I'll give a quick little breakdown now. I thought that our wing-backs, well, I say our wing-backs, we played a back 4. It was just a mismatch of it was just a calamity. You know, I've said for months and months and months that our away form is not good enough. It picked up slightly, but it's been up and down like a roller coaster all season, and it has been for 2 seasons. I see something quite worrying today, that Lacazette has only scored 6 away goals in 2 seasons. That's embarrassing. That's shocking. And like, he's supposed to be our banger up front. 6 away goals. Now, I don't solely blame him. Obviously, he needs the supply line from the likes of Mkhitaryan, Ozil, Iwobi, etc., which didn't happen again last night. But, you know, we're conceding goals for fun recently. After keeping so many clean sheets, all of a sudden we're conceding 3 against Palace, 3 against Wolves. I genuinely do not get the mentality of this football team right now. You can blame the manager all you like, but last night he put out the best 11 available to him. He looked clueless at times though, Emery. I must admit, there was times in that game where he just didn't look like he had a Scooby-Doo. Making the substitutions when he did. Probably should have done him earlier, probably should have done him at half-time. Maybe change the formation up, I don't know. I'm not a football manager getting paid millions of pounds to make them decisions, but, you know, and he could potentially end up getting potted if we don't get top 4. That's not, you know, it is a possibility, let's be real. You know, we don't know what the board set him as a target, so there is a chance that he could be potted. But, I don't know. But obviously behind that midfield, the supply line, you're supposed to have solid workhorses that stop attacks, they break up attacks, they make niggly fouls, they get the ball and move it quickly to the attacking players. When you watch Liverpool, right, and Man City, their destroyers in midfield get the ball and pass it straight to a technically better footballer. They do it so quickly. And if you look in Liverpool's midfield, right, Jordan Henderson, Wijnaldum, James Milner at times, Fabinho. Really? I get told all the time that this squad's world class. It's not world class. That's just my opinion. You know, I accept other people's opinions, that's fine. For me, this squad isn't world class and it's going to need a lot of work to make it world class. But when you've got a left back and a right back last night that just kept bombing forward and not defending, and they targeted them positions, and they just got in time and time again down the wings, whilst Maitland-Niles was having a jolly up on halfway, and Monreal was just, well, I've said it all season, he's finished. He's finished, and that's not being nasty to the guy. I think he's been really good since he's been at Arsenal, but his time is done. At the end of the season, he needs to leave, along with a lot of these players. But anyway, it is what it is. We lost the game 3-1, so let's get into the player ratings. Let's start with Bernd Leno. Made some fantastic saves this season. Kept scorelines down this season. Last night, unbelievable errors. The 3rd goal, what was he doing? Genuinely, what was he doing? It come off his wrist and went in the goal. You know, and sometimes this season I felt a little bit sorry for him because the players in front of him are not good enough. I personally think he is good enough. I think that he's a good goalkeeper. I think he's shown that so many times this season. But I think that it's not helped when you've got players in front of him that can't defend and they leave gaping gaps, gaping holes, and they go clean through. I mean, the Zaha one at the weekend against Palace. how's he ever going to save that? The odds on Zaha scoring are massive. The odds on him saving that are minuscule. What can he do? And he nearly saved it. I mean, last night he should have been saving them. I thought his all-round performance last night was the worst he's had in an Arsenal shirt. I'm going to give him 1 out of 10. I think I don't think he deserves anything higher than that. I thought he was shocking, to be honest with you. On to Maitland-Niles. Like I said, kept getting caught up high. Didn't want to defend properly last night. Wants to bomb forward. And the thing that winds me up with Maitland-Niles is we can see when he played against Napoli both games, he was one of the best players on the pitch in both of them games. Yet against Everton and against Wolves, both away games, he puts in shifts like that. It weren't even a shift, let's be real. It was embarrassing. 1 out of 10. On to the other side, Monreal. Seriously, again, I don't want to keep saying it, but he's finished. 1 out of 10. We'll leave it at there. The centre-backs, Socrates. The third goal, he almost got out of the way for the guy. Whether he should have pulled him back and got a second yellow card, I don't know. But that means we would then have Mustafi back in the team, so maybe not. I don't know. But, you know, at the end of the day, you've got to be defending better than that. This is supposed to be our warrior centre-back, and he was more like a sheep last night. He was like a little rabbit in the headlights at times. He couldn't deal with the pace and the movement of some of their players. And I don't blame him necessarily. I don't blame any of them individually. But as a collective, they were shocking. But I think that the left back and the right back were more to blame for exposing them, as well as Torreira and Xhaka exposing them as well. So based on that, I'm going to give Socrates a 2. Not good enough. Needs to improve massively. Koscielny, I thought, was a little bit better. But again, this is what I've been saying about Koscielny for a long, long time. Not just this season, but a long, long time. He'll have a run of good games, then he'll go back to old Koscielny, where he'll cost you a game or he'll cost you something. He doesn't defend properly. He's a liability. And I've seen this too many times with this guy. Too many times. 5 good games in a row, followed by 3 bad games in a row. Sorry, that ain't good enough to play for Arsenal Football Club if we want to challenge for a Premier League title or if we want to challenge for the top honours in football. These players, not just him, but these players are all surplus to requirements if we want to go and win league titles. So, again, I'm going to give him, I think he was better than Socrates, I'll give him a 3, and that is being generous. On to the midfield. Let's start with Lucas Torreira. Again, so below par, it was unbelievable. Not tracking runners, not tackling properly, just looked out of his depth. I don't know whether that was because the pace and the power of their players just caught him by surprise. I don't know. But at the end of the day, this guy is supposed to be our little warrior in midfield that's going to batter everyone and stick one on somebody and try and stop the momentum. And all he did was just get out the way or not track back. And I'm sorry, that is not good enough. You've then isolated, Xhaka, Maitland-Niles and Monreal have then isolated our 2 centre-backs who then have a choice. They either foul the guy or they let him go clean through, or they have to try and defend 3 against 2, 4 against 2. It is not easy when it's a 4 against 2 and you've got players running at all angles. Not good enough from Torreira, 1 out of 10. Let's go on to Granit Xhaka. Apparently we missed him against Palace. Last night showed exactly why we don't miss him. Liability again. Shocking performance from him. Does he get an assist for their 3rd goal? Genuine question. Does that go down as an assist? Or does it go down to an error leading to a goal? Which, by the way, he has got more errors leading to goals, not only this season, but in every season since he's been here, than Mustafi. And Mustafi's closer to the goal and gets isolated by this guy, and Torreira, and other midfielders we've had. And Xhaka has the most errors leading to a goal. This season, and every season since he's been here. Not good enough for me. Shocking performance, gave the ball away all night, didn't track runners, and for me, I thought he was so bad that he ain't even getting a score. 0. I thought Torreira was a 1, he was worse. 0. Now let's move on to Alex Iwobi. Somebody I've backed this season. Like I've said before, I don't have favourite players, But I've really hoped that Alex Iwobi can prove a lot of people wrong. He's a young kid that's come through the setup. So yeah, you know, he gets it. He gets what it means to play for Arsenal Football Club, because a lot of them don't. So I was totally disgusted with his performance last night. I think the fact that the first 10 minutes of the game he looked lively, I thought, oh wow, we're playing all right here. We never had a shot. And that there is Alex Iwobi's Arsenal career in a nutshell. All the gear, no idea. You've got all the skills, all the tricks, all the physicality, all the pace. You get to the edge of the box. Oh, what do? 0. Sorry, mate. 0 out of 10. Did absolutely nothing other than in the first 10 minutes. Mkhitaryan, I'm going to score a 1 out of 10. People may be shocked by that he's getting a score. Because I've seen a lot of people quoting him off. And yes, he was bad. But there was times in that game where he was direct and he did actually get in the box. He shanked a shot into the upper tier. But at least he actually tried to do something at times. It was limited times, don't get me wrong, which is why he's only getting a 1. Because it weren't good enough. He don't track back. He very rarely scores a goal, the same as Iwobi. He very rarely creates a goal, the same as Iwobi. And again, if we want to challenge for a title, we need goals from midfield. We all remember Freddie Ljungberg, Paul Merson even before that. They all scored goals. This midfield does not score goals. It is so heavily reliant on Aubameyang and Lacazette. It's just outrageous. For me, he's only getting a 1. Mesut Ozil. Let's get on to Mesut Ozil. 4 good games, followed by 4 bad games. Again, another one. That is his Arsenal career in a nutshell. Doesn't do it consistently. Last night, I was disgusted by some of the stuff this guy done last night. He ducked out of 2 challenges. I'm sorry, you're a midfielder and you are ducking challenges. You're waving your arms about at all your teammates. This is apparently one of our 5 captains. Well, it's not apparent, it's fact. He is one of our 5 captains. And he is waving his arms about in disgust because somebody didn't move for him, or they didn't pass him the ball, or he misplaced the pass, and then he's blaming his teammate. Captain, apparently. Seriously, that needs to be reevaluated. In fact, he needs to leave. For me, the fact that he did pretty much nothing. People have said to me, oh, he showed for the ball, he tried. I don't care. Ducking challenges in an away game, shocking. 0 out of 10. On to Lacazette. Funny enough, Lacazette was running past our midfielders quite a lot in that game to get the ball back. He was then getting the ball back. He was then playing it out to our fullbacks or Iwobi and Mickey. And then he wasn't in the box to receive the cross because he couldn't get there quick enough. Because they were putting him in too quick, which is fair enough. You've got to get a ball in the box quick, right? But because he's run so far deep into midfield to get the ball, he then couldn't get in the box quick enough. But with that being said, one of his worst performances for Arsenal. Seriously, 6 away goals. 6 away goals. Sorry, you know, at the end of the day, 6 away goals in 2 seasons ain't good enough. So for me, 1 out of 10. Eddie Nketiah, one of the only 2 bright sparks that came out of this game. Unbelievable from the young boy to come on, show some character, show some fight, and show the fans that he actually cares. Because that performance for 20 minutes when he was on the pitch yesterday was better than all of them put together, that starting 11. Every single one of them put together, he outdone them in 15, 20 minutes that he was on the pitch. Well done to the lad, seriously, well done to him. And I hope and pray this kid gets some more chances. Maybe we should throw some more kids in. 7 out of 10, man of the match. Well done, Eddie Nketiah. On to Guendouzi. One of the 3 players at the weekend that got the blame. He was part of the blame. It was partly his fault at the weekend we lost. Yes, he was poor against Palace. Last night, he was far from poor. Another one, the second bright spark in the team, that came on, lifted the energy levels, lifted the directness of the players, and actually tried, actually showed like he cared. Like he was proud to wear the badge. Like he was playing for the away fans that wasted their evening up in Wolves. Fair play to him, 6 out of 10. Kolasinac, I'm not going to score. Emery, 3 out of 10. He got the starting 11 exactly how every fan wanted it, so nobody can argue with the starting 11. I thought that was a good starting 11. Everybody else was calling for certain names to come back in. He put them back in. Everyone was calling for certain names to be dropped. He dropped them. Where I do take problems with Emery, he stood clueless on the touchline as soon as it went 2-0. He didn't change nothing until way too late. And then he's throwing on Guendouzi and Eddie Nketiah when it's way too late. Why didn't he throw him on earlier? If we had thrown Eddie Nketiah on a bit earlier, who knows? We might have got back in the game. That's my player ratings. Before I go, people are going to say, but Socrates scored the goal that got a goal for us. That was our only shot on target. I don't care that he scored a goal last night. His performance was worse than Koscielny's. Just because he scored the goal doesn't mean he had a better performance than Koscielny. His all-round game was shocking. Koscielny's was too, but not as bad as Socrates. So just want to clear that one up. Go check out my review of the game if you haven't. Massive thank you to every single person who's subscribed to my channel so far. Welcome all the new people that have subscribed off of the last couple of videos. I am so close to 10,000. Just over 100 away from 10,000 subscribers. So thanks very much. Please subscribe, stick a huge thumbs up on the video, and until my press conference reaction, which will probably be tomorrow, I think Emery's press conference is tomorrow, then yeah, I'm out of here. Laters, peeps.